10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Through Black and White Eyes. Isn't it nice to just be smiling every single time we're starting a show these days? I don't know what it is. Could it be that we won 5 in a row in the Premier League? 6 over the festive period? Just have something to do with it. Right, Ches says, hi all, please remember to keep comments respectful. Super chats are available in the bottom right hand corner if you wish to donate. Join only for 99p and enjoy the show. There is the link if you would like to join. It really helps us to keep the channel running for free, pay for things like StreamYard and all that sort of stuff, and then we donate to charity. Hey Ches, you're early. I know, 9 o'clock. Obviously everyone's been smashing the chat, waiting for this to start. It's not Christmas, you big les man. It's still sort of Christmas. They'll definitely know watch along, I'm afraid, because I'm at work Tuesday night, and I'm also at the game on Sunday as well. I need to see another Geordie Mouse though for mental health reasons. All right. I'm getting lost here. We should invite Jabba to WhatsApp now. Yes, I think you should. I think you should put him in the WhatsApp group, and that would be very interesting. Hey, Roger's in the house as well. Just seen Leslie's person says, I'm a man, not a woman, and the mouse says, you know, you're a woman, man. Oh, my days. Is there anything interesting in this chat? Let's just get down. Daniel! Welcome. Daniel, you won the Newcastle shirt from the watch along against Man United. I need you to get in touch with me ASAP, either on Twitter or via email, which is in the description below. Congratulations, mate. Well done. So get in touch so we can sort this out. Ho, ho, ho. Green Giant. Even lads and lasses, what a result exactly, Peter. What a result. Daniel Wallace is in the house. He is. Geordie Mouse, have we caught up now? We have caught up at last. Right. We all know why we're here, because of this absolute fantastic result yesterday. Absolutely buzzing. Can't believe we've done the double over Spurs again. But we all sort of expected a win, didn't we? So let's get talking about it, and let's bring the guests in, as always. Ian, how are we doing?
Good evening, mate. How are you doing?
Feeling better?
I don't know what I've had, but it's been a bit nasty, to say the least. It's been hung around us for about a fortnight now, and it hasn't been too good. But hopefully, I'm slowly on the mend, so I'm all right.
Good to hear. Yes, Daniel, you've won a Newcastle shirt. Get in touch. It's not a joke. This isn't one of those phone-in things where people try and prank you or anything like that. You have won a shirt. So someone on the NFC pod still Eddie. Oh my god. I can't.
Good evening, Ian. No, I only have one response to that. Ho, ho, ho. You're an idiot. Yeah. I mean, come on. 6 wins on the bounce, and he's calling for Eddie's head. No, sorry, not having time for it.
Still calling for him. Not him, obviously, but someone on another pod.
No. I see it, and of course it's Peter Griffin, and I'm sorry for the bad impression. Roger, Ian, Ches, Gary, Jules, Les, everybody. Good to see all of you, and my esteemed co-host. Good evening.
So, Henry Winter sends his apologies. He's also got the flu. He's not well. Everyone seems to have it at the moment. But you know what it is? What a guy. And I'll tell you why, what a guy, because he could have done one show and just said, look, that was me done. I don't need to be involved again, or, I had fun. Thank you very much. But this was his response again. Hi, mate. So sorry, but I'm still feeling rotten. So we'll give this one a miss. Once I'm back to full fitness, I'm keen to help out where I can. What a guy. What a guy. And he just brings something different.
Are we calling him Harry, or are we going to call him Hank? Which of the two are we going to? Hank is more of a Yank thing, isn't it?
Well, he needs to change his name from Henry Winter, because everyone still thinks it's Henry Winter, the one with 100,000 following, doesn't it?
If your first name is Henry, you can either go by Harry or by Hank. Either one. But Hank the Yank is probably too much. We could call him Jon Snow instead.
Ooh. You'll have to put it to him and ask him that when he gets a chance to come on.
I must admit, mate, when I started following him, he I think he's commentating when he's live at the game's absolutely spectacular. I think he's brilliant. He's up there with Razor, in my opinion. He really gets involved, loves the club, and you can see why he gets so much respect. He's a fantastic, fantastic person.
Yeah. And what a person to have involved with this channel. It gives us a bit more credibility. I think it's just really nice. And we've got Stefan back on Thursday night. Absolutely buzzing with that. This is a guy who gets asked to go on to TalkSport and talk about financial fair play, PSR, all this sort of stuff. And our little channel has gotten back on again, as he promised. So I'm looking forward to doing that show, and whoever wants to join as well. Get your questions ready. Send them to me on Twitter, because I want questions for Stefan, because I'm not a financial expert, so I need proper questions that fans want answers to. So please DM me some questions of what you want to get out of it.
Do you know what it is, Baz? They've got so much opinions about how much they know about finance and how much we should spend. That's the man who's going to give you all the information to put all. And this as well, I'll repeat, going back to the summer where Darren Neal's put his speech out, but unfortunately we found other stuff where financial fair play was holding us back. I put a little snippet out there and I got absolutely hounded for that because we knew, but nobody's, like, I'll repeat myself, nobody said anything about that because we're still in a situation where financial players getting behind us. But Stefan, he's an absolute fantastic bloke.
He is. And to have his pedigree and to come on our show again, he's a Man City fan. He doesn't have to do it. He said he'd come back on and kept his promise. It just shows you what kind of a man he is. So it's great to have all these people involved, and we're just very lucky that we're able to do it, basically. I'm very pleased about it. Right, well, let's get into the action. Obviously, White Hart Lane or Spurs or whatever you want to call it, the new stadium, whatever it is. What I really should say is, it's our home from home, isn't it? We just like to go there and stick it up them, to be fair. But it didn't start brightly. No. Now, I did tweet out before the game saying, is it a risk starting Botman? Not just that he might get injured again, but, he's a bit ring rusty.
Ring rusty, yep.
But I am not blaming him for the goal. The person I'm blaming for the goal is Joe Linton. And I know Joe Linton had a monster of a game, but he got caught on the ball. Yeah. And this starts to do my head in sometimes. It always happens with Joe Linton and Murphy, I've noticed. They hang on to the ball too long, get caught on it, and that put us right on the back foot. No one tracked Pedro Porro running up, and the ball was laid off to him. It was just like watching Trippier put a ball into the box back in his prime. What a delivery. And Dominic Solanke being, the 60, 70 million pound striker that he is, he's got the wrong side. Well, Botman's got the wrong side of him. He's gone on his blind side, and what a diving header. Yeah. That is so difficult to do. So all the credit goes to Solanke for that. Yeah. But for me, Ian, and you've mentioned this a few times, the goal it's conceded because of the mistake higher up the pitch when it shouldn't have happened.
Yeah. And this is why I love Joe Linton, right? I love him to bits. But when sometimes in tight areas he loses the ball, which hurts us at times, and the broke so quick. And Joe Linton tried to pull him. Porros went on that outside, and it And the ball in was absolutely fantastic, by the way.
Oh,
Right?
it was
It was
a
a
great
beautiful
delivery.
ball. It was a great ball in. And it's a situation where Botman's in a position where he's on that right-hand side, where I can defend him because he's a left footer. I can defend him because his positional's not quite right. If he was on the left-hand side, his natural body moves him into them areas. But as soon as that ball came in, I'm defending Botman to a summit, but I said when the header went, it's just match sharpness straight away, right? And that's the thing at this level. When you've been out for so long, just that split second, Solanke's been on fire for Tottenham at times, right? And you can just see, and even before the game, you could see Solanke he looked sharp, he looked a threat, he looked a handful. He was picking stuff up round our centre half's feet, and he looked sharp. He was passing it about, they were running. But it was the ball in was as good as the goal.
Superb.
It was a great goal. And when sometimes when you watch a goal go in like that, you've just got to put your hands up and say, as much as we made the mistake by dwelling on the ball, we're trying to recover. But the passage of play when it's been, because we're very good at that as well, we'll break them down and then we'll counter attack and we'll score good goals. So when Tottenham did that, they got us down and played it out wide. Solanke was very, very good. Played outside to Porro. The ball was absolutely fantastic in, but the header itself was exceptional. So you just got to put your hands up and I said, great goal. And I just thought it was a fantastic goal. I did.
Yeah.
And like sometimes like when you concede goals, you think, that wasn't a bad goal. That one was a good one.
Yeah.
No, and I stood up and clapped in the pub because I was just like, it wasn't in the pub. I was at home. It was way early. It was so early I didn't know where I was. No, but I'm going to say my frustration, Ian, was that my expectation, and I was watching the build up. My expectation was that Botman was going to play in his natural position, and it would be Burn that would scoot over. Mm-hmm. But looking at the run into that goal, Burn was playing left center back. Botman was left to play right center back, and that confused me because Burn has been so consistent so far this season that I would have expected the man with more minutes, the more experience, to be the one that slots over where we're missing Cher and let Botman go into his natural position. So he's not having that ring rust isn't as obvious. But
see the thing. It's so hard for two left footers to play alongside each other at the two centre backs.
Yep. We talked about that in the last show. Yep.
And
the main reason for Botman on the right is because Botman can use his right foot, can't he? Where Dan Burn uses his right foot to stand on.
But the thing is, though, I'm jumping ahead a little bit here in the show, but if you look at Botman's performance through that first half, a lot of the times, because of his natural position, he goes back inside, which is through the central defence, and he takes a risk. But his ability got him out of that by playing little ones inside. But he got caught a number of times, and no fault of Botman no fault of Botman of his own. It's simply because when you're in an unorthodox position, your body naturally puts you into them positions where you don't really want to go. It's like a left footer playing on the right back. There's not very many can do that, and so you're asking a kid of ability that's been out for so long to come in and play a right centre half against a top centre forward at the time, and wasn't just a centre forward. There was other players where he was taking risks because he wanted to express himself. He wanted to get on the ball, but unfortunately, because he wasn't in them natural areas. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I thought his play was brilliant, but I think sometimes he looked really, really rusty, and it worried us at times. But as the game grew on, and as it went on, I thought he grew into the game and become better.
100%.
And I just wish that he grew into his position on the left-hand side, but that's so unfair on Dan Burn.
And for me, like you said, Ian, I agree 100% with everything you just said. For me, it was showing us that for 10 months, it's going to take a couple of it's going to take you some minutes to get back. I know that he's been playing some behind the scenes, behind the closed doors, games. He's played in a couple of reserve games. He's gotten some minutes in his legs, but we're not talking Premier League level minutes here.
No.
And for 4 minutes in, I was willing to go, well, shit, there's the one goal that I predicted. I said we were going to win 3-1, and there was the first goal. I said, all right, guys, now it's time to tighten up the bus. I agree, 100% agree with you. As the game went on, Botman got more and more comfortable. He was starting to shake off the rust. He was starting to show what he's capable of. I don't want to get too far ahead, like Ian said. I was just like, to give up a goal of that quality in the 4th minute was all down to, well, have we played too many games in a row? Is the festive period gotten to us? All of those things came into my mind. But then I just said, shit, it's the 4th minute. Let's get on with it. And of course, it was, at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So, it's their place. They've got, 50 odd thousand people behind them. They got a good goal, and Solanke took it well, but Poro's delivery was fantastic. It was a great goal. So, all right, enough about that one.
Yeah, well, I did tweet our half time saying that was a horrible 20 minutes from Botman and Tino, and they grew into the game though, and which is basically what you've all been saying. But don't forget, I think Tino ran into a lot of cul-de-sacs yesterday, where he doesn't have that intelligence that Trippier has.
He took a knock and had to go off for a minute, also, and then we had to wait for him to come back on. So,
what on defense of Eddie Howe's team selection there, by the way, because obviously Lloyd Kelly was supposed to come in and Trippier was supposed to start, and you can see where Eddie Howe's actually made the decision to bring Tino in because of Werner's pace, right? And there was times in that half mind where Werner really pushed down on our right hand side, and both Tino and Jacob Murphy, I thought, played a massive part in that defensively. And off the ball, I thought they were brilliant. I totally agree with you, Baz, about Tino's offensive play. But this is what I've said from day one about him starting to be ahead of Trippier, because of the offensive side of his play needs to improve so much. Because he with the ball, I don't think he gives us enough at times, creating stuff. In the final third, I don't think he gives us enough where Trippier does. Trippier's very intelligent. He plays lovely balls inside full backs. He plays lovely balls in between midfielders, and he brings forwards into play, which hopefully Tino Livramento gets to that level. Because if we get him to that level on that side, which Lewis Hall's bringing it on the other side, by the way, because Lewis Hall's becoming that elite footballer, by the way. And you can that's the difference between the fullbacks who's moving forward quicker. And I mean, like I've said, I was Lewis Hall's worst critic, by the way, this time last season. Tino Livramento, I'll stick by my decisions, what I say. If he's looking up to a certain international, which is Kieran Trippier, watch what he does offensively. With defensively, off the ball, Tino Livramento is probably one of the best about, and that's why he started for England. Going forward, we need more from Tino Livramento on attacking threat. And I think if we can get that right down the flanks from full backs, I think we'll be unstoppable from the back. I really do.
I do.
Baz, do you think because Baz, Ian, well, we'll get in later into the conversation with upcoming fixtures. I was thinking, we were all thinking that Lloyd Kelly was going to come in and that Trippier was going to start since he passed it. But looking at having Tottenham away at Tottenham on Saturday, and then we've got away at the Emirates on Tuesday night in an important cup fixture, the first leg of an important cup fixture. I'm thinking, is Trippier going to come in for that one? But we can talk about that later. I think the next action that we need to talk about is 2.5 minutes later.
It is literally 2.5 minutes later. So a lot of people have said, it's what are Newcastle going to do when they go behind? Do the heads go down? Not a chance. There's a lot of controversy about it, but Gordon took his goal brilliantly. blew a couple of kisses to the Spurs fans who were giving them crap. Spurs all thought the goal was going to be disallowed. And this is why. It's because it did strike Joelinton's hand. However, I said straight away,
natural position.
Exactly. That's not handball. And I said, if that hits his hand inside the box, it would never be a penalty because he hasn't put hand to ball. It's not an unnatural position. And the distance between that, he can't get his hand out the way.
Right.
And this is the ruling.
Yep.
So, and this has been put to bed by everyone, but yet Spurs fans just need to let it go. Please do not turn into Arsenal fans. Don't make him months and months and months of complaining about a decision that went against you. That was actually correct. It's not a good look.
And the argument that, will defenders always, put their hands behind their backs? Yeah, because they're preparing for the attack. Joelinton had no ability to prepare for that. That was a pass that hit his hand.
Yeah.
Pure and simple, and they were less than 3 yards apart.
Yeah, defenders only put the arms behind the back when the no strike was shooting. He wasn't shooting.
Yep.
And again, it would have been disallowed, however, if it led straight to a goal, which basically means if the ball dropped down to Joelinton's feet, he scored, or it dropped down to Gordon's feet, he scored, they would have ruled it out. But because there was another phase in the play where the ball broke to Bruno slots it perfectly to Gordon slots in the bottom corner, the goal is going to be given. Now,
and the probability of Gordon's shot hitting the net, there's so many different factors in that ruling. Yep.
Exactly. But it's 100% not a handball. So to Spurs fans, just calm down, let it go. Don't become that. But a great finishing.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
What a response. It's just what we needed. And the way we picked it up and just drove forward, and we looked. It was Newcastle what we're good at. Very good on the counter-attack. Great ball inside. Great finish. And what more could you want? Great response. And then I just thought, it was one of these games where I thought this could be anything.
Yeah.
And when I looked at their team when they first started off, I went, do you know what it is? There's a lot of names in there which I'm not quite aware of. And I were attacking 3. I just thought, we could really get at these. But then you've got a centre forward that's in form for them. Son's on the bench. You think they've got to be hanging on for something, or he must put his trust into these other players, which is rightly so, because I thought I thought Spurs were all right over the night.
We'll come to that later because we're only 5 minutes into the game.
I have many thoughts there, but agreed. Yep.
Yeah, but the response from us was just what we wanted, and it couldn't have come at a better time.
Oh, exactly. And it was typical Spurs. Spurs being Spursy. We love it.
Yeah. Mistake.
Look who's made it.
Hey!
Hey, John.
The 4 amigos.
Can you hear us all right, John?
Hey, guys.
Ooh, that's a big delay.
We can hear you. Your camera's frozen a bit.
The sound is going in and out. I've been you guys minutes, but I had some things to take off.
Yeah, you're very blurry and
You're breaking up.
You might want to come out and go out and come back in again.
Reboot your laptop.
Reboot.
Reset.
Yep, he's gone. Right.
He'll come back.
Of course he will.
I'll be back.
I'll be back. Right. We take the lead, but we should have took the lead a lot sooner. How did that Isak chance? The ball from Bruno, by the way, that split the defence to get Murphy and Murphy's cross. And then when Isak got his left foot on it, I thought that's going to bury in the bottom corner. And then if he didn't get as much on it, Gordon would have had a tap in on the back post. I was thinking, please don't be one of these games. But it wasn't. We literally almost played the exact same sort of move again. It was Bruno to Murphy again, slotted in. Murphy had a lot to do. Fair play to him. Great low cross. It hit the Tottenham defender, Dragson. It was probably going to be an own. Jurgensen. It was probably going to be an own goal, but Isak got his studs on it, went away celebrating. It's just that tiny little, sorry, that one, tiny little touch, and just for memes, there's the Sunderland badge. That's how big Sunderland are. Now John looks a lot better. That's better.
There he is.
Yeah.
That's
sorry.
better.
Hey guys.
Hey, John.
Hey, I was listening to you guys talk. It was enjoyable, but I had a few things to finish up before I got on.
That's fine.
Good to see you all.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, mate.
Yes,
Can't wait to say. I can't wait to see all of you in a week.
Yeah.
Won't be long.
Yeah.
Not long at all.
So jazzed.
John.
Well, I'm leaving Tuesday to drive down to Dallas, and I'm flying out Wednesday, and I'll be in Newcastle on Thursday, and so I'm last minute preparing for everything. But
love it.
But go ahead. I interrupted. Go ahead.
Hey, it's fine. We're just talking about Isak's goal, which ended up being the winner. It was a lovely team goal again. Our high press was working really well in the first half. It really was. I loved it. Leaving on a jet plane.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
with John, literally don't know when he'll be back again.
this is actually so true.
As the old song goes.
Indeed.
Yeah. But that's seven in a row now for Isak. He's equaled Alan Shearer and Joe Willock on scoring streaks. Can he get another one? It's 2 weeks away now for the next Premier League game, isn't it? So he's got a little while to wait. But he's on fire, Ian. Isak is just on fire.
Yeah. He's the best. We've never ever said nothing less about this man. And it doesn't make a difference if he's had a little bit of different form. We've stuck our neck out on other people's shows and said that this man is the real deal. He's one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
And all the pundits now, all around the world, are saying he is one of the best strikers in the world. And we are so lucky to have him. But we knew that from day one.
Yeah.
And I've said we've got one of the best midfielders in the world right now was Tonali. Forget Bruno. Bruno's Bruno, right? Tonali is the real deal. He is the main man. And that will be us for the next 4. If we keep hold of Tonali for the next 6 years, wow. I'm telling you now, that man is unbelievable, by the way. And when it took, I would say, 25, 30 minutes to get Tonali and Bruno involved in that game on Saturday. And once them got on that football, mind, we were absolutely on fire. And them two dictated that game to a different level. But what I will put a little bit of a damper note on is I think Joe Linton was a very, very lucky man to be still on that football pitch.
He and Dan Burn.
Yeah.
Very, very lucky. He had about 3 or 4 fouls in the first half. And the referee, I don't know how, because the first one should have been a yellow card straight away.
Yeah.
Right? He left the one in on Porro, right on the half line.
Yeah.
He left one in. He left one in on there, and then he left another one in. And the referee did. I think it was about the 65th minute. He went 1, 2, 3. There's your yellow card. I think he should have been gone in the first half. So, you know, all of these ones where they're looking at, was it a handball? Was it this one? I think we've gotten away one with Joe Linton, and that's another one as well, by the way.
So I asked Keith Hackett the rules. It's not a handball because that is hit him on the sleeve of the arm. Now the ball is obviously looks like it's covering a lot more of the arm than what it's hit.
Yeah, because of the angle. Yep.
He believes that it's hit under the armpit, which is where you're actually allowed the ball to strike your arm and get away with it. So then that's
I think that's borderline.
It's borderline, but you wouldn't want to see a player sent off for that, though, would you?
I can see why you would get sent off for the ball because when you slow it down,
the arm looks out.
That's the position it comes to. But as you see what Dan Burn tried to do, he tried to make himself a big figure, put his arms out, so he wasn't in a natural position. So I can see why the Tottenham fans would be going, that should have been a handball and a second yellow card. I can see that one. I really, really can. I can see why.
this is freeze frame from a video. So I watched it and I moved it backwards and forwards, and I paused it exactly when the ball contacted, and it hasn't hit him under the sleeve, which means
looking at that, it looks like Dan Burns trying to get that right arm behind him, which means he's trying to make his body smaller.
Yeah.
We would have to go back and look at that video footage to prove it.
If you look at the other one where the video is from the other side, where the referee has a look at it, and honestly, Dan Burn looks like what he's trying to do. He's trying to make himself look big by putting his arms out and putting his legs out, and it struck his arm. And I could see it could have went again. It could have went either way. Really,
look at the distance from where it's hit him as well. I mean, he's got no way of getting out of the way of it.
That distance is closer than Joe Linton's.
Yeah, exactly. Agreed.
So that one for me, if that distance closer, can't be given. But the one for Joe Linton, because the distance further, you can argue the case where it could have been not given because of the distance where he could have got his arm out the way. It's fine lines, Baz. It's fine lines. It's what I'm saying.
It is fine lines. I when it comes to decisions like this, I always like to ask the former referee and
PGM MOL. You bet.
To be honest, Baz, I shit myself when I seen that handball, mate.
I did. Because I thought Dan Burn was borderline pushing himself quite a lot through the whole game.
Yeah.
Can we go back and talk about our midfield for a minute? I saw a graphic yesterday, and I saved it. Not yesterday, but before the show. Tonali ran 5.2 kilometers off the ball.
I've got that for later.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Hey, do you think I don't see things?
Dan, it's not very often I get wrong for stuff, but I've got wrong tonight for stepping ahead, and you've just get wrong yourself because
I do it all the time.
I'm putting my. I'm putting in my.
As wants to talk about when
I don't either. We need an agenda for this show.
Yeah,
I'm going to put myself on mute so I don't do it again.
There's always an agenda. Follow my lead. Right, back to this. So I asked out on Twitter for everyone to caption this. I mean, it doesn't. You don't have to have much of imagination to be able to come up with a decent caption for this. So, Ian, what's your caption for this? You what?
It's Wayne Rooney's bedroom.
Jesus. I was saying
I told you the best one will wait for the show, didn't I?
Wait a minute. That's the better one would be that's Wayne Rooney's win percentage.
Oh Jesus.
No, I got one for you.
Go on.
That's not enough money, Arsenal.
Someone was close to you. He put, "What's the chances of me joining Arsenal?" That was
there you go. There you go.
Very slim.
Dan, you got one?
I was just going to say, there's this much left in Hall's pocket.
I like it. Some of the other good ones are, I hear Musk got a small one. Yeah.
What?
I hear Elon Musk's got a small one. There you go. There's some decent one, like nice ones as well. I'm this close to signing a new contract. We all wish that was. And then he said,
"This is how much long. This is how long Ange has left in his job."
Yeah, there's that as well. Well, this is the other one. This is how much I feel sorry for Ange's injury list. Oh man. Botman said
there were some good ones in there.
Ran into him.
Yep.
Spurs are this big of a club. Spurs are this close to getting to Europe. This much effort to destroy the Spursy boys. Size of Ange's dick.
Jesus.
This is the size of Andy Madley's cock.
Oh boy.
So yeah, there's some good ones in there. Very, very good ones. The winner for me though is this is how close he is to signing a new contract. I like that one.
Yep.
That's a good one. Right. I love it.
Got love it.
I love
it. I agree with you, Baz. I think there needs to be a museum somewhere in City Center where all of these photos are going to be on display, so we can all go back and relive them together.
It's an artwork, isn't it?
It is.
Well, you know,
knowing that these are all on display at Little Benton, it makes me happy.
you know what they ought to do is, after we win a game, those photos of the team, they should be selling those as posters in the store.
Yep.
Do you know what they should do? They should make a calendar.
There you go.
The best one for every month, January through to December.
Yeah, there you go.
I'd buy that.
Oh yeah.
The only thing I'm disappointed about in this one is there's no Santa.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's there.
And I did want to reach out. I do want to reach out to the club because I would love to meet Santa when I'm there, so I can get a photo with him.
Is that not him next to Anthony Gordon, but he shaved his beard off?
Is it?
Yeah, with the glasses on, with the white hair.
Very well then.
I think that's him.
I don't know.
I could be wrong, but it looks like him.
Could be.
That's him. That's Neil. That's him.
Yeah. See, the thing is, though, I love all that, but the one for me, which will take some replacing, unless we win a trophy or a league or whatever.
Yeah.
The one at Sunderland for me, I won't take that away from my profile until we do something bigger than that. And that's took a lot of years to rub salt in their wounds for that day.
And the fact that both the men and ladies did it. Both the men and ladies did it was fantastic.
Yeah, and I mean, I love the idea of when you're walking through Long Benton, this is what we do, this is what we do, this is what we do, this is what we do every game. Just remember them lot down the road.
Yep.
When they thought they were going to beat us that day. They really did.
They did. I missed a few things in the second half because unfortunately I was at work. I actually missed the penalty, which Gordon apparently should have got.
You should have.
I mean, I've seen a bit of a replay of it and some pictures. I mean, he went off bleeding when he got substituted, and apparently it was 20 minutes before that the substitution. So when I saw it, I thought it's one of those, isn't it? But is it that deliberate for a penalty?
Yeah, naughty.
Yep.
For me, naughty, and right. I've done it. Right. I will not.
Brilliant. I've done it. It's definitely a penalty. I don't know how I got away with it.
Horrible to say this. I got told to do this because referees don't see things when it's on the blind side. And when you're clever, you can get away with stuff. And he got away with that one. He knew exactly what he was doing because he kept his body straight.
Yeah.
Right? He knew exactly what he was going to. He was just going to nail him full on. And if that was anywhere else on the pitch, it was a free kick. I really do.
Yeah, as much as we were supposed to get penalties like for Joe Linton and Byrne running all roughshod over everybody, they were playing pretty rough too. They wanted this game, So, and that was one instance. There's a couple others, but I agree with you, Ian. I think he was, he was kind of jumping in, and he didn't try to move away.
He knew what he was doing. Honestly, you can do people on the blind side, and that's what you do. People on the blind side.
It's very like the Liverpool one, wasn't it? Because didn't Virgil van Dijk do that as well? He made a beeline for Gordon.
1,000,000%. That's it. And no word of a lie, Baz. I got taught to do that.
Yeah.
I got taught to do it because I was too soft. Right. And I was a good fullback, but then I got turned into a better fullback by having that kind of side of us.
The naughty side, the dirty side.
I wouldn't say a dirty side. I was a clever side.
Yeah, the shithousery side. I love it.
Yeah.
The dark arts.
The dark arts.
Well, you could tell. You could tell that really hit him.
That part of the game, right? Van Dijk and all of them, right? They're getting if you want when you watch the game off the ball, they'll block people off the ball, but you don't even see.
Yeah.
Forwards will make runs, right, and they'll block them and drop them, and you won't even see that on camera. When the ball's going down the right-hand side or whatever, they'll put a ball in the box, and the forward will go down. The crowd will go mental, right, and old Van Dijk will say, "He's ran into us. He hasn't. He's blocked him."
Yeah.
And we
see that all the time, don't we? You just part and parcel of the game. You see the ball getting played back to the goalkeeper, and it might be a little bit short. You see the defender watching the striker and just starting to move right into his line, and then boom.
It happens. Honestly, it happens all over the pitch. They get taught to do it. Solanke knew exactly what he was doing.
Mm.
And There was a one late on as well when it went late in to injury time. Tino Livramento tried to clear the ball, and the forward just left his foot there. So Tino Livramento had to boot the bottom of his foot. That's the type of stuff. But it's a nasty side, which is great. I love that.
I love it. That's why I love Joe Linton. Spurs came close. I mean, I'll give credit to Ange. I mean, the first half, they were shocking. We were brilliant. We should have put them away. Yeah. I mean, Gordon could have had a hat-trick on another day. He had a great chance in the second half. He had a like-for-like chance in the first half, which he was off balance, and the keeper saved it. But obviously, the game plan was to stay in the game, wasn't it, for as long as they could? And then on 60 minutes, he played all his aces in one go. When he made those 3 substitutions and it was still 2-1, I shit you not, I crap myself.
Baz, have you got their team in front of you or not? Because I
no,
haven't.
Unfortunately, not. No.
The little blonde kid that played centre field.
Bergwald.
Yeah, the one that we were interested in and went to Spurs.
I am not kidding you. I was over the moon. That kid went off.
Good money.
Agreed.
He was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And
he's only 18.
Me having Newcastle head on, Dan, right? I'm thinking, as much as I love Joe Linton, can you imagine Bruno Tonali and him in a midfield 3? The energy that kid has.
Yep.
He was the main player.
We were interested in him. We tried to sign him, but Spurs beat us to him.
You also heard the response from the crowd. They were surprised he was coming off.
He was on a different level. I thought he was the best player on the pitch by a mile. By the way, I thought he was brilliant for them.
Yeah.
And I thought he set the tone for Spurs.
Yep.
And when you've got somebody setting the tone, like we look at Gordon's pressing, or when Almiron's playing his pressing, and you look at Joe Linton's aggression, you need somebody there to set the tone. I thought he had the tone really well for Spurs. 100%. And he was the best player for Spurs on that day. And when he got took off, even though they brought on
Madison
and Son.
Madison, I was like, oh no.
And was it Basuma?
Basuma.
And I thought Basuma came on. I thought he steadied the ship, by the way, and I thought he was very, very good.
Spurs really turned the screw at that point on the 60th minute, and I thought, honestly, I literally went, "Oh God, we're going to be hanging on here." Yep. We still created some decent chances, but we were hanging on. That Madison shot that just went whistle past the post. There was one where Dubravka saved, and then the follow-up hit the post. Tight angle, like, to be fair. I don't think he was ever going to score.
I thought the first save was brilliant.
It was, yeah.
I was just disappointed.
Go on, Dan.
I was just disappointed that we needed that insurance goal in the first half. We needed to be 3-1 at halftime, because, as Ian said, when the young man was taken off and they brought on Son and Basuma and Madison, it was telling that we started to get nervous. I thought Spurs was excellent in the last 30 minutes.
Oh yeah,
I was really excited.
Yeah,
I'll tell you who I was really, really impressed with. Gray at the back for Spurs. You said obviously the guy in midfield was head and shoulders above everyone. I thought he read the game absolutely brilliant for them. I thought he was their best player, to be honest with you, especially in the first half.
I thought he was a shambles.
Do you? I thought he read the game really well, and who he had next to him was the problem. And then when he went off, it was a lot better.
If you notice his first pass, he passed it straight in front of Jason Tyndall, and he put it in Jason Tyndall. But I just thought, because the Sky cameras bigged him up that much, don't get me wrong, he's had a good game.
I think he was
18-year-old, I think he's a good player. Great future for the club. Good player. But I just thought he was a shambles.
I'll tell you what, the reason why I thought he was really, really good is that he was in their face. He was in our faces. He was not fazed by anything. Joe Linton, he was squaring up to him almost. That was one of the things I thought for an 18-year-old who looks like he's about 15. He reminds me of Josh.
Agreed. Geordie Josh. Yep.
Do you know, as a professional footballer, though, if you know Joe Linton's on a tightrope, because Joe Linton was on eggshells that first half, he could have been sent off. I'd be in his face as well.
Yeah, I just thought he was brilliant. I thought he read the game well. The crosses at times, the blocks. He didn't look phased on the ball at his feet. I think Spurs have got 2 stars on their hands with Berggrave and great. I really do. The future's bright for those players, and they might end up somewhere else. You never know. But we saw out the game. Absolutely buzzing to get 3 points, though. Just these are the stats. I mean, the stats. Obviously, the only stats that really matter is the scoreline at the end. But it's nice to look at them. Both had 4 shots on target. Both had a decent amount of attempts. We blocked so much. It was brilliant. Clear cut chances. We had 2. They only had 1. 10 corners to 9 corners. It's very similar. Tackles won. They won 20 out of our 10, which I found very strange. Area duels 50-50. Our keeper made 3 saves. Their keeper made 2 saves. The game could have went anywhere, but isn't it so nice and refreshing that there's more than one way to skin a cat to win a game? The first half, we won the game by playing attractive football and scoring goals and being effective. And the second half, we won the game by the little dark arts, by being a team, working together, and just fighting for everything. And that reminded me of the Champions League season when we got into 4th, because we hung on to games in that season as well. You don't always win pretty, and we showed that yesterday.
Yeah, it was a lot of hard work in that second half for us. I mean, that's where we really earned the win, because they came on and they were controlling that ball and being threatening the whole half. And and then having to do it an extra 10 minutes plus the 3 minutes that they got out of it. I mean, 13 minutes is like, oh my God, we're going to break down, because if you go back a few years, that's what would happen. If we had any luck and we got a small lead, the other teams would just wear us down in the second half. And we're a lot tougher team now. So it's fun to watch. But I was pacing.
I was frustrated, especially when we brung Barnes on. I thought, do you agree with this, Dan, in the end, that the substitutions were a little bit too late? Or were they right because the midfield were hanging on? He wanted to keep his best players on the pitch and carry on doing what they were doing.
So what do you think, Ian?
I think the game was that tight at the time, where what do you do to change stuff? To put Willock up top, because
that was just a real substitution, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I can see why, right? Because Willock's legs going forward, you'll always get the ability as an attacking option. But when you're trying to see the game out, you're always going to get that defensive side, which comes natural to him. So it'll make it solid. If you brought a Sula on, I don't think you'll get the defensive side of him. Right. And when you're going to Spurs, and Eddie Howe must have sensed things aren't quite as fluent as what they were first half. We need to do something different. And I thought the substitutions were right.
Could have done them a tad earlier. I think that was one of the only things we were thinking about. We were defending.
I think it was a gamble, Baz. It was. You were watching the clock get run down. We were controlling the midfield. We were trying to keep it quiet. Go ahead.
Do you not think, Dan? Because we're Newcastle fans and we want something to be that. Come on, let's do this, or this. Because we're that excited, we're that desperate to get the points. The main man knows what he's doing.
No doubt. Yep.
And he's done that at the right time, and it's proved that we've getting them points through them substitutions, because we'll look more solid when them came on. It was the right time to do it, and we've seen it out. And the Tonali and Bruno with that at fine, where they're seeing throw-ins out, which was brilliant. And I can see why he's done it. I really can. But I did have my heart was in my mouth when I seen Botman go down.
Well, that was the other one for me. I mean, to throw him in for almost 112 minutes.
I couldn't believe it.
I thought, but again, how can you take him off when the game was such on a balance?
Yeah.
And
So how can
again,
so
Kelly came in and did quite well, to be fair, for those 12.
again, how you've just said there was the substitutions at the right time, and you've already just said there, how can you take Botman off when the game's so tight?
Yeah, but I was talking about the substitutions that were a little bit early when you bring Longstaff on and Willock on. And
but this is what we're saying is when you look at the passage of the game and the passage of the play, how can you affect the game to make us get through it? Or if we were chasing the game, I think that'd be a completely different topic here. When we've, you got to remember, we've only got a Sula on the bench. I believe Callum Wilson would have came on earlier if we had Callum Wilson on the bench. Because he's Callum Wilson. You know what you'll get on these rough people up. He'll hold the ball up, but we haven't got that on the bench. Sula won't hold the ball up, so you've got to have a different dimension where the effect is we're not going to hold the ball up, but we're going to have that cover when we'd lose it. So Willock will naturally drop in, so you become into a 4-6 basically. And then come us down. But I just think perfectly. We went there. Tottenham were absolutely woeful first half. We've done exactly what we needed to do. Second half, I think Tottenham came out. They were the better side. Game of two halves. I think we managed the game absolutely perfectly. Eddie Howe made his substitutions right, in my opinion. Standouts for me. I'll leave it a little bit later on, but I just think it was an overall perfect day for Newcastle United. I really do. I really, as much as we were all shitting ourselves and going, put this on, do this and do this. Where's he's getting the other three? Because we're not Newcastle United fans. Eddie Howe and Jason Tyndall, I think, managed that game absolutely bang on when you look back at it.
Yeah. Fair shout. Like I said, I missed some of the second half because I was at work and I only.
I was shitting myself for the second half because I think Spurs were excellent in the second half, especially when they made their substitutions. Their last 30 minutes, I was on the edge of my seat, biting my nails. I was, you got to remember it was 5:30 over here when that was going on. So I was already up and early and somewhat sleep deprived. So I was frustrated. And Ian, again, knowing that we have particular options off the bench. We don't have a Callum Wilson. We don't have we don't have Cher to bring on.
Right.
We were limited in what we could do, and I think to Ian's point just now, we had the right effect on the game at the right time. Eddie and Jason knew exactly what we have off the bench, and I'd like to think, Ian, that maybe there was just a little bit of this. Look at what we need in January. This is what we've got. Let's look at how much we've got to spend. Let's look at what our options are. Is there a diamond in the rough somewhere that we could be looking for, that we could get for 15, 20 million, that kind of thing. What are our options, and laying it out there for the
you know what I was thinking, Dan? I was thinking after watching Spurs after the subs and everything and the way the game changed, it was like, oh well, if we get a point out of this, okay. I was pretty worried, but I didn't want it to go to beyond that. But I thought, oh my God, they're really pushing us right now.
And when the fourth official put up the clock for 10 additional minutes, I was just like, oh crap! Here.
I'll tell you what though, we managed the game. This is what I was really impressed with the most. Between 85 and 112 minutes, we managed the game so well. I saw us do things and being mature to see that game out, which I've not seen in the past, like getting the ball into the corner flag and trying to do that.
Right.
Win throw-ins, take your time on them. It was just that was absolutely fantastic.
And my biggest fear, and I'm risking putting my foot in my mouth and jumping ahead, but my biggest fear now is that after Tuesday, Dubs is gone.
Well, might be. We don't know yet.
I'm reading the tea leaves.
Yeah. What I'm going to obviously change the direction back from away from that to something what we've never had for a while, in my opinion, and it's the midfield. And it doesn't matter if Joe Willock's been in there, Sean Longstaff, Bruno, Joe Linton. Exactly. Since that man came into this football club, right, it doesn't matter if he's not involved on the ball in times where he's not effective. We look so much stronger as a unit, as a unit, mind, right? And when I'm sat watching my club now, that midfield, that's the engine of your football club. I was always worried at times where we were getting overran this time last season where we're going, we need a number 6. What the hell's going on? We need Calvin Phillips. We were banging the drum for Calvin Phillips to come in because we were getting caught out of possession. We were getting counter-attacked all the time. God almighty. I mean, Joe Linton's Joe Linton, right? But he always plays himself. This man there, what you've got in that picture, Bar's mind, he's absolutely world-class.
Oh, yeah.
1,000%. And we're so lucky to have him. Yep.
And, I'll take it back when I watched him it's the best Newcastle United debut I've ever seen in Newcastle United when he played against Aston Villa.
Yep.
And to have a year out of football, right? If all the doubt is what he's done with gambling and this, that, the other, and played a few friendlies or whatever, to just go back into a game at Nottingham Forest in a cup game, right? And stand out and shine to become man of the match.
Yep.
And then to just be non-effective in that first half, but still control a football match where we were so in control. It's the effectiveness of where Manchester United used to do it when they had Roy Keane. Arsenal used to do it when they had Patrick Vieira. Chelsea used to do it when they had Kante and they had you need someone like this to take the club forward. Liverpool had it with Gerrard. Chelsea had it with Lampard. This man is on a different level, by the way. And he is the best midfielder Newcastle United's had for, I would say, decades, by the way. Decades.
I was really frustrated when when the referee blew for a free kick when he was. And can you remember that down the left-hand side? Tonali was sprinting with the ball. I was like, why'd you pull it back? Why did you do that? It was away.
If you look at Tonali when he first came to Newcastle, right? He looked a player. If you look at him now, he looks like he's absolutely bulked up. He just looks like a different player altogether. This man is on a different level.
100%. Gattuso and Pirlo in the same body. That's what everybody keeps saying, and I think there's a little bit more. I think there's more than that. I think there's a percentage that people aren't taking into consideration. Go ahead, Ian. Sorry.
Pirlo for me was very, very technically very, very good. Didn't have the physicality side what Tonali's got. I think this kid's got a lot. I really do. And you can see why the Italians have absolutely went nuts why he's come over to England. The Italians don't like them players come over to here. They hate it because they want them in their own country. This man, and there's not very many good Italians come over to England and dominate mind. And he will for years to come, by the way.
But you know what it makes me think of is Eddie knows how to pick them. Eddie is not worried about the training academy and all that. He knows exactly what he needs on the pitch. And the players that we've gotten over the last few years, you think about it, Gordon, Bruno, him, Tonali. I mean, it's like, and the amount of patience that we showed for Tonali, in getting over his gambling issues, it's just paying off so well right now. And I'm with you 100%. When you're watching just him in the game, it's like he does so much off the ball, everything.
I'll stick my neck out here, right? Because I said Bruno's not a captain around Newcastle United, and it was too much on his shoulders.
I remember.
This man wasn't playing. Right? So Bruno had the whole of the midfield on his shoulders. I will say it now because this man's came into this midfield and just took that midfield by storm. It's making Bruno's job a hell of a lot easier. And don't get me wrong, I think they're playing together absolutely brilliant, by the way.
They're on the same wavelength. Absolutely.
If Tonali wasn't in that midfield, I still think Bruno would struggle. What we've seen before this man's hit the ground running. I really do.
He's brought a calmness to Bruno's game. He's opened up Bruno's capabilities, and it's let Joe Linton be Joe Linton.
I like that one. Right. Don't forget we got and sponsors on this show. Diacro, buys 20 for 20% off. Link is in the description. Loads of other stuff other than Newcastle stuff as well, so please check them out. Got to get in quickly for this. It ends tomorrow. A Gordon signed shirt, only 39p a ticket. There are quite a lot of tickets, but you can also win a Joe Linton signed shirt, a Harvey Barnes signed shirt. And football prizes are amazing. They do loads of other stuff. They do cash prizes as well. So check them out. Link is in the description. And finally, our night. It's not far away. Literally 11 days away. And we will be in Newcastle Benfield Football Club, talking football with Luke Edwards. £10 per person for a ticket. Email superfandan@831@gmail.com to secure those.
Four tickets this morning already.
Oh, right.
Ooh, so we've got 16 left.
Yep.
About 13 or
About
16.
that. Yep.
Yeah. So it's nearly sold out, guys. So get your ticket if you want to join in. Right, a couple of more little things before we go. I think we broke Spurs.
Oh, God.
Terrorist football. If Nazi Germany was a team, it would be Newcastle. Eddie Howe and Joe Linton are the equivalents of Hitler and Stalin, if not worse. All the refs are a retard too. Well, I just want to point out, Lewis, we're not here to be popular, mate.
Exactly.
That is exactly what we did, and we put you to bed again.
Yep.
And
In your own house.
Do you know they're looking away from the penalty decisions and stuff like that. Spurs actually played well.
They did in the second
That's
half.
the thing. Spurs played well. And do you know, if they played shite and they got two bad decisions of what happened, and then we scored 2 goals, fair enough, and just spout up. Like the Arsenal one, when we beat them 1-0 at home, was pretty dubious with Joe Linton. We knew that the ball went out to play. It was one of them ones, right? But we still played all right on the night. So did them.
Yep.
Spurs actually played very, very well.
They were much better than we were in the last 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I was scared to death for those last 30 minutes of regulation time, and then to see the board go up with 10 extra minutes, I would shit myself. But no, Ian's correct. Absolutely.
Do you know what the thing is though? Them Cockneys hate getting beat off us Northern boys.
They do. They absolutely do. They think they're superior. They think they can take Isaac off us. They think they can take Lewis Hall off us. It's absolutely pathetic. Obviously, we had Harry on the show who was brilliant. You know, Harry said he even apologised for the Spurs fans. I can't believe we're saying things like this. But another great thing, this is a tracker of this season, Howe's best season and last season. We are almost catching that best season line. We're not far away from it now. We're getting very, very close. And what does that equate to? Points mean prizes. We are now 5th, still 5th. We're only 1 point behind Chelsea. We're 2 points behind Forest. We're only 5 points behind Arsenal. We are knocking on the door, boys, of top 4. Now, behind us, teams are now starting to drop away a little bit, aren't they? Man City are obviously now starting to string some results together. Bournemouth are dropping away. Villa, lucky to get
Fulham dropped 2 points.
Fulham, Brighton won a point, I guess you could say, at home to Arsenal, or drop points, because normally they beat Arsenal at home. Brentford had a great win. Look at Spurs in 12th. But look at the gap now between 5th and 9th. It's now 5 points. There's only a couple of points.
Yeah, I know where they are.
Not even in this conversation.
But the thing is, though, Sky Sports would put them on.
The would for talk of top 4. But did you notice when they were doing the Fulham
top 16, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but did you notice when they were doing the Fulham and Ipswich game, when they were showing the bottom of the league, they literally cut Man United out of it?
Never.
I did, yeah.
But our next 4 fixtures, our next 4 fixtures are very, very.
Now, don't say it. Do not say it, because that is how when Newcastle United let ourselves down.
Yeah,
it happens all the time. Let's not get cocky. We've got Bournemouth, we've got Wolves, we're due to win.
Here we go. Start of the season. How many points did you say we'll get out the first 5 games?
All of them.
You did.
What about the next 4 fixtures then? No, you shouldn't. No, you're shitting yourself, aren't you?
I'm not, because
you come to the nitty gritty part of the you know me, Baz. I'll go, come on, let's take every game as it goes.
Right.
You'll go, we should win all of them. But now, because you've gone past Christmas, and you'll go, we've got the next. Hold on. We're up the business end of the table. Let's just take every game as it comes.
Yeah. I'm watching the ones above us. I'm also watching the 3 or 4 below us because it's so tight. It's so tight.
Do you know I'm watching Arsenal and I'm watching Bromley.
Yeah.
Agreed.
The thing for me now is that, I've always believed in this. There's a thing called the laws of probability. Right?
Yeah.
We've won 5 games in a row. Right? We've never won 6 in the Premier League. The laws of probability say we're going to get humbled at some point, and I think it'll be soon. And I don't like it, but it will happen.
Yeah, I was kind of worried that it was going to be a draw this week. You know, I was thinking
I'll take a draw away
Yeah.
to Spurs. But again,
I'm just looking at the absences for Tuesday. I'm concerned. About the absences for Tuesday.
Yeah, but
it's not the league though, is it? So no. This is the thing. I'm not, because see, we've won 6 games in a row if we include the cup because we beat Brentford. So laws of probability say, there you go, Arsenal, over to you.
Yeah, we want to knock them out though. So we'll miss Bruno. We'll miss Schär again.
Right. So Tonali steps in and becomes the Bruno. He's going to start Willock, I think. So you'll have Willock, Joelinton, and Tonali in midfield 3. It's not bad, is it? The worry is obviously Schär still missing.
And depending on Botman's cramp, does he start with Lloyd Kelly?
I think he has to start with Lloyd Kelly. I think asking Botman to play another game so soon after the injuries had and the non-competitive football, I think that's a huge risk.
And then does he start Trippier?
I would start Tino because they've got pace on the wings.
And they've got youth.
And they've got youth as well. That lad scored, didn't he? Against Brighton. Norrie, whatever it was called. Their young gun.
Hall will play.
Yeah.
But
I think it'll be Burn Kelly at the back. We'll see Dubs play because I think it's going to be his last game. Because apparently the rumours are we've asked the club who's buying them to wait until after this game. And then...
Does that mean... Hey, Baz, does that mean that we've got the other guy lined up?
We hope so.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like we wouldn't do a deal unless we were getting somebody in at the exact same time. What's the guy's name? Traffic.
Were you doing that on purpose, John?
I forgot.
There's a video out tomorrow, John.
Okay.
Everyone, there's a video out tomorrow when I get out of bed, and I'll do it with a little bit of we've not like other channels have done this, and it's January window. Let's get all these 2-hour shows out. We're not doing it because we're literally. There's very little news when it comes to January window, but we've had a little bit of news because Ian knows some people. Also, Steve has also put some stuff in our group, so I'm going to research it all tonight, and I will put our video tomorrow to let you know what's going on. But we're not doing big shows on transfers because, let's face it, PSR screwed us. There isn't going to be any big signings, and it's a waste.
We'll have our big show live on the 16th at Benfield Football Club.
Yeah, exactly. We've got Luke Edwards to tell us what's going on behind the scenes. I mean, what more do you want? But what were we up to? Arsenal, team. I think Isak starts.
Yeah.
I think Gordon starts. I think Murphy starts. I think the whole team almost picks itself, apart from you've got those 2 changes. Willock will come in, and I think Kelly will come in. I think Botman will be on the bench, and then
that means Burns. That means Burns captain.
Are the boys staying down there? Have they came home or are they staying down there?
I don't know. It's a good question. I would like to think they stayed down there because I hope so. Have no way back up and go unless the flu. Well, again, the weather's been crap as well, hasn't it? So it depends what they've done. So
do you know? I just hope we really go down there and just these will think they're just going to turn us over. By the way, because that's the way they are.
You think so?
I would love to get a draw. Maybe.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
Love it. I would love it.
Right? I would love to get a draw.
Yep.
As much as I want the win, but I would love to get the draw, right? But then for them to come to St James's Park with a draw on that game,
With the lights.
us to just do a Paris Saint-Germain and just take it to them and get that final would just be absolutely brilliant.
That's what I'm rooting for, Ian, because I've got a ticket to the second match. I'm Beagle.
Honestly,
that would be brilliant. That just to have a 1-1 draw down there, that would be lovely. That.
Oh, by the way, I've got a ticket for the Wednesday night for the Wolves game, isn't it? Is it Wolves?
Yeah.
I've got a ticket.
Fantastic. All right.
Yay! I can't get a ticket for Saturday though because I've got kids.
with me going to the FA Cup game on Sunday, I had the Wednesday one as well, but I turned it down because it's my wife's birthday.
Good man.
But I'm taking my wife to the FA Cup game though, so now guess where we're going, John?
Oh, you're going to get some pizza.
We're going for pizza.
So I've just checked SofaScore to see if they had like the potential lineups, but it's too early for it.
Yeah,
they haven't. It's because I wanted to see what they thought Arsenal might do. Because, like you mentioned, Ian, are Arsenal going to go strong or not? I put a tweet out saying that potentially, they'll have one eye on the FA Cup, they'll have one eye on the Premier League. They've obviously got Champions League commitments as well. Would they actually go strong after playing Saturday night to Tuesday night? We've had a bit more of a break. I know it's not a lot, but playing in the morning on the Saturday, then playing at 5:30 on Saturday night, that's given us, a few decent hours rest. I'm confused of what Arsenal are going to do. Do they see this competition as a priority? Because I don't think they do.
I mean, my worry is always going to be Odegaard because I think he's world class.
Oh yeah,
and if he's
just come back from injury as well, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Are they going to risk him?
Didn't play against us at home.
Yeah,
and I think he's the key link to them, and he's our.
Tonali's going to be.
He's so important to them. And Saka for me,
Saka's injured.
Right?
Saka's
I'm saying Saka for me is another Martinelli. He can either be world class or he can be poor. And I don't get this. I don't get the hype for Saka. I really don't.
Oh, I do. I've watched them a lot.
Well, with him injured, I'm not even paying attention to it. I'm worried about him in the second leg.
I'll tell you what I am paying attention to. He won't be fit for the second leg either. I'll tell you what I am paying attention to, though. His contract running out in 2027 and free transfer to Newcastle United.
He ain't doing that.
I'm
looking at Odegaard. I'm looking at Havertz.
Havertz is not my problem.
Havertz is not. You're not worried about it.
I think
Dan Burn will sort him out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with that.
It
is Odegaard.
Dan Burn's got a what you call it?
Jesus, maybe. Jesus is a bit quicker. He's a bit more.
Again, it's
that goes back to when he was at Chelsea.
I really, it's Odegaard for me. It's just,
he's quality, but there's other dangers in that team as well, though, that we have to be wary of.
We played Manchester United the other day, and they were absolutely woeful, right? And there was one man wasn't playing, Fernandes. I watched him today against Liverpool, mate. He made them tick, and he was on a different level. Fernandes, he was. Bruno Fernandes was on a different level. And anyway, I'm going to change direction back because I never even spoke about him.
Go on.
For me, at the weekend, Lewis Hall was absolutely outstanding.
He was.
Outstanding, by the way. Both
fullbacks. Man of the matches. Are you your man of the match?
Well, brilliant. Lewis Hall, manly match.
I found it difficult to pick a man of the match.
It was either Tino or Lewis Hall.
Well, I thought that was fantastic as well, though.
But I get slated for
that. Yeah, not from us though.
No, but the thing is, again, I look at things and because I was a left fullback, right? I look at Dan Burn last season when he was playing out there, I would defend him and I would say he was this, that he was this, that he was that, he was brilliant, this, that, the other. I just thought Lewis Hall was outstanding, and I think he's getting better and better and better. Yeah, he's disrespectful. Do you know what it is, Dan? His distribution in tight areas to allow our midfielders to counter-attack. When if Matt Targett was playing there, it would either go up the line, or even Dan Burn was playing there, they would go to Dan Burn, he would play it up the line and just give the possession away.
Right.
Lewis Hall gets into tight areas, and Joe Linton's inside or Bruno's inside. He doesn't give the ball away inside, where if you've noticed when it goes inside, it just opens up the park where our midfielders can just run into them spaces where last season, that area's absolutely crucified us because we're just...
This is the reason why Lewis Hall is such a good footballer, though, isn't it, Ian? Because absolutely. We heard from the guys who support Chelsea, they said, you've got a player on your hands because Lewis Hall can play the field as well.
And this is the reason why we spent 28 million on him. This is why we brought him on loan to see what he was about, get him bedded in. This is why we spent a big chunk of our budget on him. And because he's a Geordie lover, he's a Geordie boy. We've got the next left back for us for the next arguably decade.
20 minutes into that game, Lewis Hall picked the ball up in full back, right? Yep. There was nobody on him. Anthony Gordon dropped in deep, and then he ran in behind. And Lewis Hall played this ball in behind full back and over the top. And Anthony Gordon ran out of it, and we got a corner. And his intelligence as a footballer has grown and grown and grown. And I think it's down to one man, that's Eddie Howe. Yep. I was his worst critic last season, mind. I was on this show telling him I was going, I honestly don't, because I look at him playing at that left full back position and I'm going, I cannot understand what he's bringing to this football club. Now, God, I've had my words. And it just goes to, and I'm not bothered, and I'll own up to it. What he's been taught, or what he's listened to, or his own ability to the levels what he's going to go to as a left full back. And he's so small as well, by the way. Yep. He's world class. Yep. Brilliant.
He is.
This guy said, be patient.
You did, Baz. And because Dan Burn was playing at left back. I could see what Dan Burn was bringing to the football club, but it wasn't enough. But when he's going back into his left side of centre half, what he's bringing to this football club is well enough at this present time. But going forward, Dan Burn is not the answer. We know that.
Of course we do. And we know he's not the answer at centre back, but he's doing a great job at the moment. And this is what it is. It's all about the here and now and the future.
And he can't be dropped. He can't at this point. He can't be dropped. For me, Botman is not a fit. Botman is not the reason to drop Dan Burn.
No, definitely not.
It's a tough one, though, isn't it? Because Botman's a Rolls Royce compared to.
Definitely not. Bruno sat his arse on the bench because other people was playing well. Botman will see a lot of time out of the sideline. And for me, as a Newcastle United fan, as much as I love Sven Botman, if Dan Burn was put on that bench simply because he was back fitness, I would not be happy, by the way.
Yep. The respect amongst those three, amongst Botman, Cher, and Burn is there for everybody to see because along with Trips, they gave us Champions League football.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jules. When you know, you know.
Right. Where are we drinking?
Well, we've got a few things to organise, so we're going to end the show there because it's been a brilliant show. Hall gets man of the match by the sounds of things. I can't do an Arsenal show, I'm afraid.
You don't have to back me, you know, if you don't. Who's yours?
I because I missed the second half. It's hard.
So who was John's? Who was Johnson?
John, who was your man of the match?
Oh my God, that's tough. But I did mention Hall in my little video. It's like the guy's fantastic, and I think he, you think about who's going to play at this match or that match. He's taking care of that side. He's it, So it's between him and I thought Tino played a really good game too.
Actually, I thought he was brilliant for 18 minutes. I thought the first 20 minutes was poor, but he really came into the game better, which is why for me he wouldn't get man of the match. Hall was outstanding from the start. Tonali was. I thought
Head and
Bruno,
shoulders.
and I know it sounds, it's always Bruno, but Bruno was the reason why we scored 2 goals. He set up the first one, and then he had the assist for the second one. But that pass was brilliant, and he should have had an assist if Isaac had scored the other as well. I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah,
so it's a tough one. Dan,
What time was it? I can't remember what time it was in the morning. No. I was half awake.
4:30 in the morning.
I'll tell you, Hall. Oh my God, it's early. What does the O stand for? I get Hall, but again, and people get bored of this, but my favorite player right now is Dan Burn, not because he's Dan too, but he's just been so consistent. And given that he stayed on the pitch, given that he shouldn't have been on the pitch, but he made things happen. I mean, the yellow that he got for taking out the attacker, for stepping in there and saying, right, not in my house. Not in his house, but you know what I'm saying. He took risks yesterday.
Took one for the team, that yellow card.
Yeah, Lewis Hall was exceptional yesterday, and he's rightfully he was man of the match. But I just love watching Dan Burn play right now because he's keeping us in games that there are chances that we might not even be in the game if it wasn't for him. So,
I'll tell you what I found really funny though is TNT give it to their goalkeeper.
What is it with that? I mean, I don't get it.
Because he's the third choice keeper. He was, he only played 20 minutes of.
But is that what we do? Is that what we do? We do it out of sympathy? Come on.
Sometimes, yeah. You've been on the bench for 95 times and never got on the pitch until yesterday. So
well, I think that's positive, and I like to.
He did all right.
Give kudos to somebody.
I thought Austin yesterday was excellent. I even went into my fantasy football league and I put him as my backup keeper just because if he was good enough to play against us at home, I'm thinking he might get some. I understand that, but he didn't do pourly.
No, he didn't.
I thought he was great.
But I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be running out to put him in my fantasy team anytime soon.
I was looking for a budget option, mate.
I love it. Right, that's the end of the show. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you guys for making a memorable show, and we'll have to sort some stuff out in the background.
Indeed.
But, Good night, everyone. Like I said, I won't be back till Thursday. Thursday, guys, you've got to tune in. We've got Stefan on PSR, financial fair play stuff. Get your questions in, ASAP. We'll also be live Friday night to Sunday. I won't be doing a watch along on Sunday because I'm at the game with my little boy. And then we'll have to do a review show either Sunday night or Monday night. We'll see.
I'll be in the air. We'll do the best we can to pop in whenever we've got the chance. I'll try and remember to get on TikTok and do some stuff. Thursday I should be able to make it because it's a international day. I mean, it's a national day of remembrance for our 39th president on Thursday. It was an executive order from President Biden that all employees have the day off. So we're all remembering Jimmy Carter.
I love it. And Henry Winter, I messaged him and said, if you're feeling better, we've got a great guest on Thursday you might want to get involved with because he'll obviously know a little bit about all that sort of stuff behind the scenes as well. And he said he's very interested in that as well. So we might have him on as well as Stefan.
I think we need to have a poll or a vote on one of our social media accounts. And is it Harry or is it Hank? Which is the alternate name for Henry Winter, so that we can do it.
You've got to ask him that. I'm not going to call him something he's not.
he said when we had him on the show he would be good with either one of them. Just to separate him from that other Henry Winter.
True.
He said to us, he would accept either one. He's down for both of them. So
get terror on it.
There we go. See what we can do.
Yeah, so you can do it. And then on Friday, we've also got a Bromley fan coming on to talk about the game on Sunday.
Oh, super.
I'm looking forward to that as well. Right. Thank you, everyone. See you soon.
Good to see you guys.